F1 Academy may be addressing some of its biggest issues, and that's because on May 28th they are dropping their version of Drive to Survive, and it's going to be a 7-part docu-series that you can watch on Netflix. But here is why it won't be like Drive to Survive. Firstly, it's going to follow the 2024 F1 Academy drivers, so I think the difference there is pretty self-explanatory. Secondly, it's going to be called F1 The Academy. Thirdly, it's being produced by Hello Sunshine, and Hello Sunshine is a media company whose aim is to empower women, particularly through ensuring that women's stories are heard. So they're going to be able to bring a really special lens to this piece because they have so much experience. Lastly, I'm hoping that because it's 7 episodes, that means that we're going to have 1 round an episode, which isn't what the current season of Drive to Survive looks like. However, what is staying similar is the premise. We can expect to see the classic things from Drive to Survive, such as rivalries, victories, and frustrations. And we're going to get a behind the scenes of who the drivers are, including their families and their struggles. Meanwhile, we will get an insight into what goes on with the teams. But what I think is arguably the more interesting part of all of this is why I think they've made the series. There are the obvious reasons, such as bringing in new fans and also raising the profile of the series. For example, this is what Susie Wolf, the managing director of the F1 Academy series, had to say about the docu-series. But more importantly, it will help to build an emotional connection with the drivers in the series. And that's something that I think F1 Academy is in desperate need of. Given the number of rounds per season and the fact that drivers can only stay for 2 seasons, it is a little difficult for fans to build a connection with the drivers, and therefore perhaps we don't see fans following drivers after the series as much as we would like them to. But this series could change that, and I think F1 Academy are aware of this issue, and that's why they try to show as much personality as they can of the drivers. For example, they have quite a relaxed intro, and they've started a series on YouTube called Follow the Rookies, which is great if you don't like the style of Drive to Survive, because this one is a lot more of a vlog style back to basics situation. Similarly, we know that finances are a massive barrier for anyone to get into motorsport, so perhaps this might help drivers to get more sponsorships because people may end up getting invested in their stories. Another issue that F1 Academy faces is that some people just don't really get it, and unless people are willing to do a little bit of research, I think it's quite easy for them to dismiss it. But it is a lot harder to ignore its importance if you are able to build a connection with the drivers, because at that point, I think you would have more appreciation for the barriers and the challenges that they face. And following on from that, perhaps there is hope that this docu-series will reduce the amount of hate that the drivers and F1 Academy get.